Doing? We got another weekly reviews for you to talk about some movies I watched. So in the last video I talked about how I watched Band of Brothers, and now I've officially watched all of the Pacific. Yeah, this was a great series. I don't know which one I prefer more. Band of Brothers is probably better, but I like the Pacific. I think it was really good. It was a great watch, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm glad I finally watched that. So then I watched the Madagascar movies, because these are two equally equivalent things: the Pacific and Madagascar. So let's talk about Madagascar. I guess that's the only way just to do it. We just gotta talk about it. We just need to talk about the Madagascar. Yeah, I watched these. I haven't seen these movies since, I was a little bit younger, and I bought them in this. I really like these new updated, like, DreamWorks packaging for these things. These collections of their movies, because it pretty much lays up, like, the artwork on the front gives you all the characters, and it says, oh, we got all 4 movies, we get 3 shorts, we get 10 episodes of the TV shows. I have the Shrek box set that does the same thing. And they do this for Madagascar, which is neat. I like these, and then they're also reasonably priced. These usually range $20 to $25, and for like a whole collection of movies, good deals. And I've seen this one go on sale for maybe like 15, things like that. So it's a good deal. So I watched the first one, which I had seen the first one in maybe 5-6 years. It's been a while. Yeah, that movie did not hold up at all. Like, first of all, the movie looked terrible. The animation was just awkward and just, And I get it was like the early 2000s, but even by early 2000 standards, it looked a little, And I really hated the movie because there was not a story to the movie. The story was that our animals from the zoo get sent to Madagascar, and then they run around on Madagascar. And the closer it gets to like a main story is like Alex starts becoming more wild and trying to eat his friends, and then has to learn not to. But that's like resolved in like a gag, like a 2-minute gag. It's like, well, then what is like it's there's just no substance to the movie, and it would be fine if the movie was funnier, but it's not. It's boring because it's not that funny. There's a couple gags that I found really funny. When Marty's running from Alex, he's like, "Oh, sugar, honey, iced tea," and then when Alex references the end of Planet of the Apes, where he's like, "You maniacs! You blew it up!" That was funny, but like, it's more because it was a reference, not because it was a completely like funny gag. It just no. Then I watched Madagascar 2. Madagascar 2 actually was better than I remember it being. Even as a kid, I always hated Madagascar 2. I don't really know why. I think it was just not that funny. And it was really boring. But, this one, it was slightly funnier. It just still wasn't a good movie, but yeah. And the Madagascar 3 is like, every time I watch it, it changes. Like, the first time I watched it, didn't like it. The second time I watched it, I'm like, oh, this is slightly better. And then the third time I watched it, I was like, eh. And I basically think it's still eh. Like, I think it's definitely the best out of the Madagascar trilogy of movies. Because it's pretty... It has funnier gags, and it also is more original. Well, not original, but like... It doesn't just rely on its gags. It's like it actually has a story and characters and things. Not a great one, but it has one, and that's more I could say for the other two. So then let's talk about Madagascar, Penguins of Madagascar. This movie was actually better than I remember it being. I actually laughed quite a bit. I had a great time with it. I actually, it's just I was honestly just gonna throw it on, like do something else. I'm watching the background, but I ended up like being so engaged with it that I was like, oh, let me sit down. I'm really enjoying this, and I enjoyed the whole movie. Yeah, it was a fun movie. It was just funny. The gags were fun. It was, clever, and it was just a fun, like, spy little action movie. And that's kind of what you'd want out of a Penguins movie, and it's kind of just perfect for that. I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess this whole series of movies is just kind of a mixed bag of things. Um, there's not one I can say I actively really disliked besides the first one. But yeah, I watched it. It was fine, and yeah. So that's kind of my reviews. Stay tuned. Tomorrow I should have a review of *Malignant*, the new James Wan horror film releasing on HBO Max. And I should have an unboxing either tomorrow or probably in the next few days here of some things I ordered off of Amazon. So stay tuned for all that. Coming your way. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.